Good morning, YouTube. It is Sunday morning, July 30th. And in this video, we're going to show you how I fixed the loose throttle shaft bores on this 1050 Dominator. Last video, of course, we disassembled it, and we had to wait for some parts. It is, of course, a week later. We got our carburetor kit. Nice kit. Has nearly everything in it. I'm pretty sure it's everything I'm going to need. And this one has a lot of stuff that a lot of smaller kits don't have, like new air fuel mixture screws and all the little gaskets and seals that sometimes you don't normally get. Has power valves, but I don't need power valves because I block mine off on this drag race application. We got a new throttle plate kit with screws. Those soft brass screws round out easy, and I rounded a couple of them out. Plus, these plates are aluminum and were very tight in my throttle shafts, and I tore them up getting them out. Could have polished them up, but I bought these because I need screws and all. And we got some different jet extenders. Here's one installed. That's what they look like. Here, whoops, knocked that over. And where are my old ones? Here's what the old ones look like. They slide over the top of the jet, and they both fit a little bit too loose because they've been put on and removed several times, and I think they just slide over the end of the jet just like this. And I think one of them was actually laying in the bottom of the bowl, if I can get that jet to set up, but they just slide over like this. And as you can see, that one does not even fit tight anymore. You're supposed to kind of tap them on, but they were too loose, so I bought these. They screw in. We'll see if these work better. They screw into the metering plate, and then of course the jet goes in the top of that just like that. And the purpose of the jet extender is in case your fuel sloshes way to the back when the car launches, you're still sucking fuel through the jets. That's supposed to be the purpose of those. And we have bushings. I've already installed 3 of them, and that's what this video is going to be about, putting bushings in here. So I've already done 3, and the other stuff I had to order was a 1/2-inch flex hone, and I ordered a 12.5mm reamer, which is $4.92. These throttle shafts are $4.96 in diameter. And I didn't really need that. It may come in handy for something else one day. Where is that thing? Right here. Now, I'm not going to say it was a waste of money. I didn't really need it for this. Thought I was going to. But what I'm going to be doing is, okay, first of all, we've got this clamped up nice and square. I've got this hole indicated in. Okay. So, I'm going to go ahead and show you how we put in these bushings to fix these loose throttle shaft bores. I've already done 3 of them, like I said before. And the first thing we want to do is we get the carburetor clamped up to this angle plate, which is something else I ordered. And I didn't have to have it. I could have put it in a vise, but this is a better way to clamp it up. This is perfectly square. I checked it with an indicator after I clamped it down, and it runs perfectly true. The indicator did not move. The dial indicator right here, in case you don't know what that is. And let me find my wrench. We're at the top. And what I had to do was, I've got some gauge blocks, or 1, 2, 3 blocks, as we machinists like to call them. They are underneath these 2 spots right here. And I had to take a 2/1000 thick feeler gauge to make it perfectly square. And the reason I know it's perfectly square, I ran an indicator down this surface, actually this back side, and I've got it within a 1/2,000, which is more than close enough. So I'm not going to move this because I already have this indicated in. At least I did last night, unless something moved. But I've had this old bore indicated in. As you can see, that dial indicator it's bounced around a little bit. That's because if there's any kind of dirt or roughness in that surface, it's going to move. But as you can see, it stays pretty much on 0. And that's how you find the exact center of your hole. And the mill is locked down. We don't want to move it. I can move it up and down all I want, and it should stay close enough. But the first thing we need to do is I'm going to go ahead and drill this hole out close enough to where I don't have to bore so much out of it with the boring bar. We're going to open it up with a drill bit to under the size we want. See, right now that is about a half inch diameter. The outside diameter of this is around 609. We'll get some calipers and get the exact dimension here. Actually 595, 596. So, first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take this drill bit. Now this drill bit will not be the finished cut because this drill bit will not cut, could wander, will not keep the exact location of the hole. Now this drill bit is 562, which is 9/16. Okay, I need to set my depth here, and this right here, you can use this thing kind of like a drill press, and this here will keep me from going too deep. And I don't want to go all the way through into the throttle bore, because I want, when I press this bushing in, I want it to have a step to stop on, and it'll press tightly against it. And that way I won't have to take me a Dremel bit and clean out the inside of the bore if the bushing is sticking out. It'll just save me a little work. Actually, the first one, it is sticking through, and then I thought I shouldn't have done it that way. It's no big deal. I can clean it out with a Dremel bit. I'm going to save myself from that work on the rest of them. I want to go about 600 feet. My bushing is 715, which I don't matter, but I think about 600 feet is about as deep as I want to go. And I can take some calipers and set this. I'll get real picky about it. And the rest of the tool shop will be in fast motion where I just won't show it at all. But I need to kind of keep an eye on how deep I go. I almost forgot to set that. I'm not sure how close I am to where I want to be. Kind of watching where that ledge is where I'm drilling, so I don't go too deep and break into the bore. And that will be good enough. Found everything we need to tap this in. I just got me an old brass fitting that I don't care about. And it's a pretty good tight fit. Good enough where I don't think it's going anywhere. Bottom's out there. Now I got to put my indicator back in and make sure we didn't move anything. We'll make sure the end still indicates in. Okay, it looked like I had moved it when I tapped it in, so I had to move it all over and recheck this surface back here again. And it was still in there square. It almost looks like this bushing is a little bit egg-shaped. It's only like a thousandths or two, but I had to double check and make sure nothing got moved. And I put it in the center the best I could. I am sure it's within a thousandths of where the original bore was. That's the best we can do with that. So, I didn't film all that because it's too time consuming. And so now, I got to put another cutter in. I got to cut this down to where it's level. And actually, on this side and on this bore on the other side, there is a plate that dries on top of these and seals it off like a plug. And they look just like just like these right here. So I need to find me a cutter that is smaller than this but big enough to cut that off. Okay, this is where it comes in handy to keep all your old junk cutters from your last job. This is a 3/4 double end high-speed end mill. Originally it was 750 thousandths, but it's been sharpened and I'm getting 625 there, which is about almost 5/8. It needs to be smaller than that, which it is, 695, but bigger than my bushing, which is 609, so this is perfect. I don't always get that lucky. Alright, now we gotta get the inside diameter for the bushing, right? Already got everything set, and here we go. Tone in action because I took a cut with the boring bar and I knew I was close, and I just took another cleanup pass and it's going in, but don't worry, it's not too loose. And for some reason they don't want to go on through to the other side. Now when I did the other side, it went through this way. I have to see what that is and take it from there. But what I need to do is, now if you look at this side, this is the actual shaft that goes to this side. Now that is still a little bit tight when you run it all the way through them. I'm going to have to, so I can take that home, put it in a hand drill, and we'll clean everything up until these work freely. We don't want them too tight, that's for sure. We don't want it hanging up. I'm going to take this thing off out of here and see if we can get these shafts fitted in here to where they go all the way through and work freely without being too loose. Okay, here's why I wouldn't go through all the way through this side. Linkage got in the way. Couldn't get, but anyway, it's out of the way. I can't really get my finger in there right now and move it. There it goes. Now that, and it's nowhere near as loose as it was, so it's going to work out pretty good. Okay, so you did get to see me use the hone with the hand drill in fast motion, of course. We got a pretty good fit on this front one here. I feel a little bit of play, but you got to have some. If you have zero, it can gauge up and lock up on you, which is very bad news. That one feels actually pretty good. Better than it was. Now the back one, which was really wore bad before we did the bushings, it fits pretty good too. Feels a little bit more, well, it depends on what position you're. Right there, it works really free, and I feel just a little bit of play there, not bad. Nothing compared to what it was. We made some improvement. I mean, before it was so loose that the throttle plates were actually rubbing in certain positions. So depends on what position you got it in here. But yeah, we made a difference. So the next thing for me to do is to clean this thing out real good, blow it out, put my throttle plates in it, and make sure and get my linkage hooked back up in here, and make sure everything works freely. Next thing I'm going to do is replace my pump cams. I've got two sets of new ones. I don't know why I've got two sets, but I did. Just take this screw out right here, and then put the new one in. That's all there is to it. Never get it out of the package. Make sure you use the same screw hole. There are two. No, actually there's only one that lines up. Let's see, I gotta get behind that spring. There we go. And I got one more to do after this. That's all that, and then I can start fitting my throttle plates in there and getting my shafts in the body, making sure my throttle plates are aligned right. And I'm going to drop this screw. There we go. We finally got it started. My old pump cams, what do you want to call them? I think that's what you call them, pump cams. I think that's a technical name for them, but my old ones, it don't matter. My old ones were melted because I had a carburetor fire a long time ago. Put it out with fire extinguisher right away. Didn't really hurt nothing that I knew of, but it actually did melt one of these. This one was the worst, the rear one. So there's that one. Now I got one more to do. We'll start putting the throttle shafts back in the body and the plates. Okay, I'm going to see if I can remember on camera how to put all this throttle shaft linkage together. Now this I left in here, and I believe that swings in there like that. And I slide my throttle shaft through. And it's got to go through this piece here that I'm holding with my left hand. And I got to get this spring bent around here. And that's pretty close to the right position. Now we've got a screw that goes through the throttle plate on this piece that I'm trying to hold still here. Need my hook. And I need my little flashlight, which is right here. I have to hold it in my mouth. So I can't talk. Yeah, I think this goes like that. And I see the screw hole. Now after I get it all together and I know that it works freely, I'm going to take all these screws out, meaning this screw and the other, and there's another one that I think goes to the other throttle plate through this piece here, and I'm going to put Loctite and everything. That includes the throttle plate screws. But for now, we don't want to Loctite anything up until we know we got it together right. The throttle shafts figured out here, and everything's working pretty good. Got a little grease up in the linkage there, and everything's looking pretty good. I done got my Loctite in my bolts. I actually used Gorilla Glue in these screws, and you can't snug them down really tight. You got to Loctite them in, and I guess that's the reason for this plate that I always had on that. So they decided to come loose. At least they won't fall down the engine. They shouldn't with that Loctite on there, or Gorilla Glue that I use on there. Gorilla Glue is some good stuff, by the way. But looks like everything's working out pretty good. We're gonna let that Loctite set up, and tomorrow I'll get out here and get the rest of it together. But we're gonna call this a video. This will be part 2 of the Holley Dominator rebuild. So hopefully the part 3 will be the rest of the assembly, and we'll put this thing on the car and it's going to run perfectly. We hope.